I understand the circumstances regarding Kazuya's intervention, but as far as I can tell, wasn't all settled by blocking the plans of the Old One? Why were we called here, and why is our world in danger? I don't really get that. I wish the Old One gave up quietly there. But it was too late to fit everything in a circle. Everything. Back to the topic. This leads to the story of the purpose of Abaddon, who puts the world into crisis. The world line of true mercy that intervention became the official history, and the world seemed to be stable once. But the trouble is, there was an inseparable connection between the world line of genocide that should be independent from mercy. An inseparable connection? It is you yourself, Kazuya-kun. You have been hijacked by the Old One. On that world line, Old One, who has succeeded in materializing several times using Kazuya's body, although it's in an incomplete state, notice that. As if you and the demons in my room are connected by spirit, the assimilated Old One is also connected to you. Oh my! However, if the access authority of the intervention is different, the influence is small. The approach from an independent world line is no. Its power was enough to whisper in your heart and force you to step out of your way and beliefs and deviate from the official history. None of them had a big impact. Well, the original character of Kazuya was strong. It's a natural result that wouldn't actually shake if it was just from a whisper. After a while, Old One changed his target to the Intervener. What? All in all, no matter how small the possibility, it is certainly a part of Kazuya's spirit as long as it is materialized using Kazuya's body. Old One, who found that he couldn't move Kazuya, started calling out to the Intervener. Curiosity, desire for atrocities, discomfort with demons. There are many tools for him to incite interveners. So in other words, resist the temptation. Do not do the genocide run. Please, we beg you. And what I was afraid of happened. Interveners became Old One's minions, one after another. People were made to think that they were following their own will, but in reality, they're just a puppet of the Old One. There's only one person, Kazuya, but the intervener is not always a good person, whether or not he has a strong will to do bad deeds. Everything was already too late when Abaddon took the initiative at the beginning and couldn't crush the potential for branching. It is impossible to rely on human goodness, because humans are vulnerable to temptation to think that they have justice. Old One, who gathered amounts of minions indirectly, began to put out a little bit on the world line of the True Mercy, who is under my jurisdiction. However, as I said earlier, the approach from an independent place is well known. He didn't seem to want to intervene directly in the world of True Mercy. From the beginning, he was looking at a stabilized parallel world. Stable parallel world? The first branched world line before Hyaki intervened? Yes. Old One first tried to create a paradox from there, like breaking down the walls around the castle in order to attack from the bottom. In one world, the breeding season of the Harpy Queen was informed of the existence of Mother Rabbit and attacked. Mother Rabbit suffered deep emotional wounds due to it. You can't save the other person just by loving the other person. She was mercilessly overwhelmed by the Harpy Queen, and after suffering, her essence changed. We've never seen Mother Rabbit from this angle. It's a little creepy. She became Evil Rabbit and couldn't understand Kazuya anymore. She tried to completely overturn the condition of True Mercy. But that didn't happen. You defeated Harpy Queen and saved her, along with the human girl she was protecting. In another world, she contacted the Demon King, who had a grudge against you and used the power of intervention to be in sync with you and take you directly. Fortunately, that plan ended in failure, partly because I had already put a stopper in it, but Kazuya-kun's insight was really helpful. Whether or not I made a choice, if you were swept away by your emotions and took the wrong action, it would have been the plan he was seeking. And in one world, I deliberately connected to a parallel world to the fairy world in that park to encourage the fairies to kidnap the surviving humans. It started with the trivial, unrelated world line and gradually extended to a world where Kazuya was involved, with Sphinx as a companion. I was getting impatient at this stage. It's small now, and it's not important, but if it continues like this, the official history may be altered. Kazuya himself is the reason why the Old One threatens the true Mercy world. So if I take away Kazuya's soul, from there, I materialized as a demon called Cheshire and appeared in front of you, taking you as a demon. Take your soul and keep it forever. No way! You didn't expect that the intervention target you were in charge of would become such a big singularity? If you finished your work, the holes would have just gotten bigger and bigger. But I think it was shallow of you. It's almost like an act of forcibly turning off your computer because you're afraid to deal with bugs. Also, you didn't consider the possibility of getting feelings for Kazuya. And well, that's what caused Abaddon to take notice of you. I have no response to that. I don't think there are so many interveners turning over to minions. In fact, that made the situation even worse. Abaddon, He discovered that my intervention medium had materialized, changed his target. Yes, to me. He's willing to eat me and blend it with his ability to intervene. And it takes away the intervention authority of the true mercy route and directly modifies with the whole continuity. Wait! Don't say it so casually. It's a modification of the official history? Suddenly the scale of the danger became enormous! That's why I'm saying it's dangerous. Moreover, Mad Hatter's intervention medium is different from the old one that Abaddon has. Our world, the world of all the guests, without any restrictions, all the worlds are subject to his intervention, and that's where the original characteristics of Abaddon are added. The ability to eat the world. I see. We are definitely involved if he can cross worlds and cause ruin without limit. Not only that, if Abaddon can eat worlds endlessly, another problem will occur. That's the manifestation of the old one. What do you mean? As I said earlier, the old one has no real name or substance, a liquid-like existence. Because it has no substance, it cannot exert its power without going through Abaddon. That's why the purpose is to use Kazuya-kun's body to materialize in the world of the true mercy and establish his own existence. You know that. But it's just a premise process. Old One's ultimate goal isn't materialization into the real world. Well, it felt a little small-sided. For example, it's a story about whether a guy who aims to conquer the world will join hands with the demon who eats the world in the first place. So, is their purpose itself to establish their existence? Then it's a problem for everyone. When Abaddon eats the world, the broken world merges and accumulates in his belly. Then, if a mess of worlds are mixed and the worlds are fused so much that it loses all logical sense, what happens in Abaddon's stomach? He gets a stomachache! Wow, Yami-chan! If that were true, Abaddon would be pretty crazy. That is wrong! So that's not the case. The correct answer is become nothing. Infinite existence is equal to infinite nothing. Yes and no seem to be opposite words, but they're actually the same. Chaos is disorder and no law. In other words, a world without logic. Yes, the world of nothing, where neither name nor substance has any meaning, the ultimate goal of the old one. So great, the old one's a nihilist. So because it doesn't have a name or body, it's trying to create a world where it's impossible to have a name or body? That's just crazy! Yes, it is crazy. So, at first, he intended to use Kazuya to slowly proceed with the plan. Like Kazuya-kun, who is coming to our world, It seems that he intended to gradually scatter using Kazuken, who got lost in other worlds. But he made the plan a lot faster. If he had the Mad Hatter's ability to intervene, he wouldn't have to use Kazuya as a medium. So the Mad Hatter himself hid in this place and called us and held a tea party like this to deal with Aberdon? But to be honest, there's no way to counter the guy who makes a hole in space. Is there any way to do it? Oh, of course. That's why I called you and Marion. The preparations should be prepared by the cooperator who arrived late, but I'll talk about the details even when he arrives. I have one question. To understand that the worm-eating phenomenon is the result of Aberdon's work, then what measures should be taken against the world where that phenomenon occurs to stop the collapse of the world? It's a fundamental solution, not a makeshift one. So in other words, Alice is asking, what can we do to stop the world collapsing in Paradox? I know what you want to hear. You're looking for something in common with the problems that are happening in your world. But unfortunately, the collapse caused by Aberdon is different in nature from what's happening in your world. How to deal with it and the principle of how it happens. However, it is certain that there are many things in common. One of them is chaos collapse. The world eaten by him causes a chaos collapse, and then the world's self-destruction begins and everything disappears. The world that should have disappeared. What kind of end will the world destroyed by chaos collapse come to? Luca must have seen it once. So, the collapse of chaos is really... Take it easy. As I said, the final thing that happens is the same, but it's quite different in nature from what happens in Paradox. And even the chaos collapse caused by Aberdon, I don't know how to completely undo it. I'm sorry, I can't help you. We were told that when everything is settled, the worlds will be restored. Can't our world be restored with that power? My authority is to restore the world. My authority to restore the world is limited to the extent to which Aberdon has caused damage. Unfortunately, your world is not covered. Damn it, these legal loopholes! I'm sorry, but your world isn't covered by our insurance. Could I interest you in a more coverage through increased rates? Be a freaking lawyer for this world. Oh, that's the case after all. Of course it wouldn't be that easy. The authority to repair worlds which Aberdon was involved? Is it possible to say that there was no world line that... Is it possible to make it so that there's no genocide world with that authority? That way, everyone in my room and Hyaki wouldn't have to worry about me. We should be able to kill all possibilities. You're too kind, Kazuya-kun. I wish I could do that. If it was a phenomenon caused only by Aberdon, it might be possible. but that is undoubtedly the path chosen by the minion intervener. I'm no minion, I never did a genocide route. And you're making a mistake. You are the one who suffers most in that world. That's right. Everyone seems to have drunk the tea that was served. So let's change the place a little and continue talking. That's the case now? I drank all that as soon as I sat down. She even ate the... She's even eating the plate! Oh, Alice! You never change. What kind of world did the intervener, controlled by the old one, create? I'll explain it while actually showing it. Well then, everyone close their eyes for a moment. If everyone closes their eyes, my ability will manifest. Ah yes, she can change the state of anything as long as it isn't being observed. The Schrodinger's cat ability.
Forget